Welcome, everybody, to Double Funnel TV. I see Saul here already. And today we have a special visitor to help us with some of the marketing strategies specific to funnel buildings for coaches and trainers and all those fun people. I don't want to mess up your name, so I'm going to ask you to pronounce it.
Niajae.
Niajae Wallace.
Yes.
Accelerating growth for entrepreneurs. Sales consultant, helping build websites, landing pages, email list, membership sites, online courses, and scaling their business. This all sounds really familiar. Tell us more about you.
Oh, wow. Where should I start? So I owned a brick and mortar business for 5 years, and the first year or two, I thought it was amazing. I'm like, yes, I'm getting paid to do what I love. And then year 3, my business grew rapidly, and I probably faster than what I anticipated. And I realized I had a lack of systems. And so I quickly became burnt out because I was working 7 days a week, wasn't getting the proper amount of sleep, wasn't eating. And so I decided to figure out how I can transform my business. And I became really obsessed with systems and the cash flow quadrant, understanding the difference between owning a business and owning a job. And I basically revamped my business year 4. Year 5, I said what I really value more than the traditional financial freedom is time and location freedom. So year 5, I sold my business. I moved to Florida. I transitioned to being fully remote. So now I work from my laptop, meaning I can travel anywhere in the world and still work as long as I have Wi-Fi. So it's been a really, really amazing journey. And I'm able to do that through sales funnel, through automation, through systems.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, meet Scott, our co-host. He's our sales guy, selling from all those fancy stages with Jack Canfield and Colin Powell and Susan Lecter. And I'm sure I'm missing like 75 right there, Scott.
Or a few more. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Scott.
Welcome to Double Funnel TV Live.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
I need bigger headphones. That's I can see that already. I'm just so
the girls are out.
I am so 80s. I am so 80s.
Yes, we did some quotes for Scott, and they were quotes from Zig Ziglar, but we got to use a picture of Scott with Zig Ziglar.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? So Mondays are all about marketing strategy, because I feel it's incredibly important to build a strategy before you touch a system because you don't want to build something and then have to rebuild it all over again, like I've done the last week. So what is your framework for your strategies?
I start with mind mapping. Mind mapping is so powerful. So when people come to me, they say, okay, I want a funnel. And then I'm like, okay, what do you want your funnel to do? And sometimes they have no idea. They have no idea what the end goal is. So I start with mind mapping. I do what I call reverse engineering. Like, what is your goal? What is the end goal? And let's work our way backwards. And a lot of times people don't understand exactly the journey they want to take their client on. So I help them map that out. And then once we have that map, then we start to implement.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a ton of sense. That's, go to Covey's, begin with the end in mind, and put it out. And I would suggest that most of them, when you say many of them don't have they have zero idea of how to get there. I mean, they know what they want to accomplish, but they don't understand the funnel flow or what the process is. So at least you as an expert start with a place to aim towards, so that's awesome.
Yes.
So you taking them on a mind map. Do you find a lot of people trying to build funnels have a general same framework, or it's all over the place?
For the most part, it's pretty similar. They want to get people on their email list, and then they want to convert them to clients. I mean, that is pretty much everyone. But that process looks different for different people. And one of the biggest hurdles, I feel like, is people narrowing down their target audience. And so I'll have people that come to me and say, my target is women. And I'm like, okay, that's not exactly a target audience, because you have to hone it in more. There's different types of women. You have moms, you have single women, you have millennial women, you have divorced women. So your copy has to speak directly to your target audience. So that is like one of the biggest things. If you try to speak to everyone, you speak to no one. So really honing in on their target audience and making sure your funnel speaks to them.
This all sounds so familiar. I feel like I could
Deja vu all over again.
Like, I know. I feel like I could scream this from the top of the mountain, and people are like, still like, "Oh, it's every business owner."
I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. It's so funny because I haven't seen an episode where you spoke about this, but yeah, it's every day I hear the same thing.
It's one of those like
what's your
I feel repetitive.
Yeah. What's your market niche? Fam, fog mirror.
I think we were joking about that Friday, weren't we?
We were talking about that Friday. That's what's so funny.
I was like, what if they don't fog a mirror? Is that a niche? No, that definitely is like, I feel like everyone jumps in and they're so afraid of losing out on business. That is their very first hurdle that I feel like that's that mountain that's just hitting them in the face over and over again. And it's really just easy just to walk around and they just keep on getting stuck in that, what would Sean, like this is just Sean word down there, scarcity mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I have a client will be, as soon as I jump off here, we're going to be building him out his funnel. And he has about a potential of 200 to 300 clients in the world. That's it. But he's niched down. He knows exactly who he's selling to.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a start. I tell people you can definitely start there and then grow. But if you start there, like, I don't know how much his product is worth, but if let's say he has a $5,000 product and you times that by 200, I mean, that's a pretty good amount of money. And then you can go back and grow from there. And once you speak to that specific target, it doesn't mean that other people won't catch wind of it and other people won't hop on board. But the more you can make someone feel like, oh, this ad or this copy or this photo is speaking directly to me, this is exactly what I need, that's what you want them to feel.
Well, and I feel like everybody, they think they're special. And they're thinking each one of their clients is special and unique little snowflakes, and they're not. We all kind of fall in the same general little boxes in some way, shape, or form. Like, we might have different versions, but if you're talking to a single mom struggling to pay the bills and she's got a 9-to-5 that's boring and makes her want to like just die inside every day, and she's skipping all of her kids' events and she can't go to graduations and she can't go to, like, I don't know, what is that, mom and me tea or whatever for Valentine's Day, and you tell her she can start a business on the side that can, eventually take over her main, words are hard, her main income so that she can go do those things with her kids. She's not the only mom in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's only
there's probably
of them.
200 within a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, there's no doubt about the fact is I had this conversation at an event over the weekend. I said, stop describing yourself by what your job is. Describe yourself by what you actually accomplish, which is you are a quality of life merchant.
Mm.
You're increasing the quality of life of the people that you do business with.
I like that.
Look at Scott showing off. He's like, we've got fresh blood. We need to got to show it off.
Well, no, but I mean, it's interesting.
It's true.
Because
you get away with words.
Well, it's fascinating because I did this, a live event Friday and Saturday, and so I was in a crowd of people. I knew some of the people there, but not a tremendous number. But we just started talking, and it's fascinating to go to these events and see everybody describe everything they do the exact freaking same.
Mm.
I mean, every booth that you went into, well, we do this, and I just sat there at one and I said, you have it. Well, anyway, one of the people actually, I took some time and they shared their magic with me in their style. Right. And they had and by the time we were done, and I said, can I share some thoughts with you? And they said, sure. And I said, let me just, I shared the quality of life merchant thought with them and some other things. And they were like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I said, because you got to be able to talk to a fifth grader. You're not even talking to a senior in high school. You're talking to college graduate level. You're talking in college graduate level terms to a fifth grader. So how would you expect the fifth grader to be able to understand this? And all of a sudden we took their stuff and they went, can we work with you? And I go, well, probably. Sure. But that's what I'm saying is I think that people get so caught up in their own stuff that they don't realize there's a lot of single moms that want to spend more time with their kids, that are frustrated as crud, that if you offered them a solution on how they could spend more time with their kids and pay their bills and then have excess, oh my God, you're a genius. So, sorry, I just got in a little soapbox there for a second.
No, that's cool.
No,
That's cool.
it was great.
All right, so you mind map them. How do you rein the mind map in?
So for the most part, I work with people online. So I do Zoom sessions and I use MindMeister. It's a pretty cool tool. It's a free service for like your first 3 mind maps. But if I'm in person, like I just use a pen and paper and we kind of draw everything out.
And what was that service?
MindMeister. It's like
I got it.
MEISTER.
Yes.
It's a great product.
Yes, I love it.
Sean uses.
I love it. So yeah, helping people identify where they want to go, who their target audience is, and then what works best for them. So one of the biggest things that I tell people, there is no one size fits all funnel. There's like he said, there's a lot of regurgitation right now. And it's really a time where your uniqueness should shine. Like letting your uniqueness shine and not feeling like you have to copy exactly what everyone else is doing. Because I think like funnel hacking is really popular right now, but it's hurting the industry because people think I'll copy this one funnel and I'm going to make all this money, but you have to keep tweaking and see what your target audience resonates with. Because
oh gosh, yes.
Yeah, what may resonate with Russell Brunson's target audience may not resonate with your target audience. So not feeling like you have to copy Russell Brunson's funnel. So it's really important that people understand that.
No, I mean, absolutely. We've certainly funnel hacked some stuff on here too, but there's little things like there are particular audiences, they are so burnt out on webinars where they're going to hear, 30 minutes of early pitch and another hour and a half of pitch on the back end with about 20 minutes of relevant content. It's really fluffy, right? Or they're so tired of opt-ins that they would rather just get the videos ungated and hear your pitch on the background.
Yeah. Webinars are definitely the highest converting, but the problem is they all sound exactly the same. And I understand like, okay, if something's working, don't reinvent the wheel, but I like to challenge people, maybe not reinvent the wheel, but tweak it a little bit, like bling it out in your own way, because we're tired of hearing the same exact thing over and over and over. Like literally it's like regurgitation. And if someone is just following this script that I've heard a million times, I'm just like, I can't do it. And so many people feel that way.
Yeah, it's bad when you can identify which script they're doing and from which provider. Totally agree with that. One of the things that we've done, and one of the reasons that we've done the funnel hacking that we've done, is to create the initial template that can then be modified. If you don't have something, you go get what is working for someone and then put your voice to it, then make it better and do whatever. But unfortunately, too many people are just getting stuck with, oh, I want to be the next, whether it be Russell or this or that. And that's the way they sit. And now there's a reason that they're doing it, is because Russell suggests they should do it. It's like, okay, this works, so don't change anything. Well,
and you are out of ClickFunnels, right?
Oh yeah, I worked for ClickFunnels for a year. So when I first started coaching, I purchased all these courses, and I thought, I'd copy this one funnel and it's going to give me all these results. And it didn't work that way. And I'm just like, I am determined to figure this out. So I'm like, I want to learn from the source. Like I want to learn directly from ClickFunnels, not just purchase a course. And I worked for them for a year and I learned everything. And so when I say funnel hacking, people literally copy a funnel like exactly, like don't change the color. Some people don't even change the photos. And so that's what I mean. Now copying their structure, like, okay, they have this page, and this page. So the landing page goes to a thank you page. The thank you page goes to a sales page like that. Yes, 100%. But when you're like copying down to like the color scheme, the photos, like everything, like I've seen it. I've seen people not change anything on the template except for a couple of words. So yeah,
that's actually copyright infringement.
So
I've actually had my husband's complete website copied verbatim, and he's an attorney.
That would be a dumb one to copy.
Are you insane? Like, what part of that did you think was going to be all right? And of course, the lawyer pleads ignorance. He was like, I just paid someone to do my website. It's like, probably should have copyscaped that a little bit.
Yeah. All
right. So we have a mind map, and then we're gonna bring it back down. What is your next step?
After mind mapping, building the funnel. So figuring out the structure. Some people come to me without an email list. Some people come to me with a small list. So just figuring out what their first priority is. Is your priority to gain emails? Is your priority to gain sales? Like if they already have a little bit of an email list. So then the structure would kind of depend on what they need.
That's okay. Cool. And are you more of like, let's make it a complicated funnel, or are you like simple funnels?
Oh, simple all the way.
What would you say is the most number of pages you have in a funnel?
I guess like a webinar funnel is probably like the most, or a membership site funnel. So it would be like a landing page, a sales, well, if they opt into something, whatever the opt-in is, so if they have to download, so like a download page or a thank you page, and then a sales page, and then a order form, order confirmation, membership access, membership area. So that's probably like, or maybe even an upsell, but
How do you feel about the upsells? Right after you've sold them one thing, selling them another thing?
It depends on the offer. I've seen people have like 3 and 4 upsells, and like that is, to me personally, is overkill. It's overkill. But I think one upsell, so like if you're selling an online course, upselling like a live like a one-on-one session or something like that, I think is totally fine. Or, you know, if you are selling an online course and then you want to offer like some type of membership or something to where they can pay like an extra $5.99 or $9.99 a month to have continuous like access or customer service or something like that. Like I think those are good. But when people are just like trying to stack on all these different offers,
you're out.
Yes. Yeah, it's overkill. And you know, it works for some people. So what I do like to tell people is just my personal opinion. I may not be your target audience. So really understanding your target audience is key.
No, I definitely agree. And my favorite story with that is for a lot of people, they'll pay us to do a complete market research study. Mm-hmm. And we'll do all their strategy. But we actually, and this is crazy, we actually get on the phone with their ideal clients and talk to them. So both people that are clients and are potential clients, right? Because I feel like people are not as heard as they should. Nobody wants to pick up the phone anymore. Mm-hmm. And I remember being in a conversation. It was supposed to be 20 minutes. It's more like an hour and 20 minutes at this point. 2 moms on the phone. We just get chatting, right? And she was telling me it was for a preschool, and you know, they're really pushing academics. And I was like, everyone teaches academics. What makes you special? Like, we're in a competitive neighborhood in a high-end suburb of Dallas. They've all got academics. But this mom was telling me, like, you know, they have 5 stage performances. And, you know, the client actually left that out. She never told me that. And she's telling me this, and I'm imagining my 3-year-old on stage, because they have like a legit stage. And then she started explaining to me the first one, she was like crying. The second one, she was okay. And by the third one, she owned the stage. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what we're selling. We're selling a little girl who's never afraid to speak up because she knows how to own the stage.
I love that.
And then imagine how that translates academically all the way throughout her life and into her professional career. She can be Sheryl Sandberg. She's not a mouse. She's like the dominant female up there running the show.
I love that. So that is one service I haven't heard many people offering, like speaking to your target audience or speaking to a potential client.
It was because I was broke in college and I used to go do all those market research studies. There's like a whole little hub in Dallas. There's several of them. And so when I got into marketing, I was like, all these small companies don't have money to do that. But you don't need to fly across the entire country and research and do all the formal stuff. Just pick up the phone and call 3.
Yeah, it's a novel concept. Actually hear what your customer wants
funny.
and then random. Supply it.
It's so random. I watched a movie last night with J-Lo called Second Act, and she basically works for a company, and that's what she said. She said, we need to get out there and talk to people who are buying the product and find out why they're buying it or why they're not buying it. It's really simple, but I guess people just lost that touch of just speaking to people, asking them questions.
Well, it's one of the things that happens with technology is we tend to move to technology because all of a sudden it's available. It wasn't available. Somebody says, this is really good. Let's go that direction. And then, same thing in sales training. It's the same thing in presentation, things like this. Well, my close used to be great and I used to close 20% of the room, and all of a sudden I modified this and now I close 10%. You say, why don't you go back to what you did? Well, because that's not the way you do it anymore. Well, no, that's not the way you do it if you want less sales. So, I mean, it's like, what do you think? It's the same kind of thing. People, and Jena and I talk about this a lot because one of the two of us is a millennial. And
are you a millennial? Are you a millennial?
I'm 34.
Oh, so. You slid in there.
Yeah. So, but the only reason I say that is because a lot of sales training, and one of the things that some of us more mature, that's actually code word for old, some of us more mature folks have the advantage. We actually know how to carry on a conversation and talk with people. And so it's the same thing when you're presenting any product. If you just talk to them and say, what's holding you back? What do you need? How can we benefit you? How can we serve your needs? The funniest part is so few people ask that anymore that they actually tell you very willingly, thank you. They'll thank you for even asking them, to want to serve them better, So, I mean, it's a combination of a lot of different things. And then when you put that together and you actually deliver it, it's like, oh, this is Mecca. Well, it's kind of called common sense, but common sense ain't so common anymore.
All right, so we've got the mind maps, we got refining them, taking them down to a funnel. Once they have a funnel up and going, this is where I feel like a lot of people stop and don't understand what's going on. What do you do for them after that?
So I don't do any like Facebook ads, but I'll refer them to someone who does Facebook ads. If that's what they want to do, you definitely need some way to generate traffic to your funnel. There is a huge misconception that once the funnel's done, everything else is just that's it.
Supposed to pour in there, right?
Exactly. People think this, but you have to generate some type of traffic. So depending on where your target audience is, you definitely have to find a way to drive traffic to your funnel. But I stay just in funnel creation. And then if they want to do Facebook ads, I refer them to someone, and I don't really deal with that much advertising. I deal with more of the marketing, but I think that there is still a lot of misconception with Facebook ads where they think $1 a day is going to get them, 1,000 people to their funnel. So really making sure people understand, you have to invest money, and then invest money with someone who knows what they're doing, not just someone who purchased a $500 course or $1,000 course on how to do Facebook ads. Someone who understands the numbers, someone who understands testing and tweaking. Like if they're just going to do one ad for you and then that's it, like don't hire them, like run, run. So someone who really understands, you know, creating multiple ad sets and just budgeting, tweaking, watching it closely for 7 to 14 days and stuff like that. So just doing your due diligence to make sure you're investing in the right person, because if you don't, it's like flushing money down a toilet.
This is true. This is true. So you don't get into any of like the driving traffic. You are everything up to that point and then you stop.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's just me. Like I know people that try to do it all, but I'm just like, let me just say, I know funnels. I know funnels. I make sure you have a good funnel that is going to convert. And you know, if they start doing an ad with someone, I will look at like, okay, people are dropping off at this step, so maybe we should tweak this step, that kind of thing. But I just stick to the funnel.
Now, okay, so they're driving traffic. Do you A/B split test for them? Do you recommend A/B split testing?
It broke up a little bit. Can you say that again?
Okay, so you're not doing the traffic, but once they're driving traffic, are you helping them with A/B split testing? Do you recommend A/B split testing on the funnel?
So it really depends on the client I have. So for people who want to keep me on to like do funnel maintenance, then absolutely. And I highly, highly recommend testing. Highly recommend it. I mean, that's how you're going to figure out what's converting and what's not, is doing the A/B split test. So some people say, I just want my funnel and then that's it. And some people keep me on a retainer monthly.
And what do you find are the big things that you A/B split test that actually show lift, that are statistically significant?
I feel like photos are the biggest thing, like or photo versus video typically are like the biggest things. And I think like one of my like bigger clients, she tests different photos all the time, and sometimes it's like women that I don't know how to say this properly, but she has a fertility product basically, and she'll test like women that are a little more overweight versus like someone that's skinny.
Okay.
I don't know if that sounds bad, but
no,
you know,
I mean that's honest.
Yeah.
Right.
So like more like a model, like beautiful, like model-esque type woman, and then kind of just like a really just like
real woman.
Real, yes. Yeah. So,
I say that I have a daughter who models. She's like 5'10" and like tiny. And I look at her, I'm like, baby, I love you and you're gorgeous, but one day you're gonna have hips. You're real at 18, but that you'll be more real in a few years. So it's okay. We can be blunt.
Yeah.
And you know, I have one client that they, well, one of like the ones I took on is like a charity type project, because they are a charity, but they run women's veterans operations center. So helping veteran women come out and start businesses. And even talking to her, she was an older Black female, and I'm obviously a younger-ish, well, middle-aged white female. And I've been a younger female as well. But she was looking at one of the images we used, and she's like, if I was looking at this, I wouldn't feel like this was a place for me. Mm-hmm. Everyone's young. I'm old. Mm-hmm. Like, okay. And so then you're trying to like dig through like stock photography, and it can't even just be normal stock photography because we're talking about veterans. And so if I don't have at least one person in uniform, veterans aren't going to be like that call to action. Mm-hmm. So now you're trying to find stock photography, which I found one of the most difficult places was middle-aged women, mm-hmm. which is where business owners are. So I can find young women. I can find really old women. I can't find that space in between. And then even more difficult was finding like a multicultural. Mm-hmm. I can find, honestly, mostly white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it's true.
And then so you're trying to find those great photos. And sometimes I feel like you have to go hire a photographer to go get them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I tell people, like, don't be afraid to hire a photographer. Like you want your site to represent like your target audience. You want them to go to your page and feel like, yes, this is for me. So yeah, don't be afraid to hire a photographer.
Those pictures make a huge difference.
They do.
Huge difference.
They
now, do you pictures or video?
I'm a huge video person. Huge video person. And I actually just launched something and we did a photo and we did a video. The video by far like did way better. So, but it also depends though. Does your target audience?
It always depends.
It always depends. You have to know your target audience. And I think that there are some people, just like people who read a book versus a person who listens to an audiobook. So knowing where your target audience is on that spectrum. So
we have Scott here as a coach and an author, obviously. We do some coaching here ourselves for coaches specifically. What do you find is the highest performing type of funnel for them? So I see a lot of book funnels out there. I'll see a couple webinar funnels out there. Which one performs well for this group?
So honestly, I feel like a lot of people do book funnels and no one ever reads the books. And I'm just being honest. No one ever reads the books. So like if you do a good webinar, maybe a webinar, but a mini web series. So like maybe like 3 videos that are 5 minutes each, because especially if you're targeting people who don't have a lot of time, because that's common these days. No one feels like they have time. So something quick and easy where they can listen to it as they're doing whatever it is that they're doing. I feel like that's been, excuse me, really useful for a lot of people.
And for those, is that almost like a PLF, Jeff Walker product launch formula type style?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with him?
I am, and I'm trying to think back because I there's so many formulas in my brain, but it's not like the details are not coming to me right now.
Right, no, that happens. But that's ungated content. Like I guess they're signing up once up front.
Oh yeah, definitely enter your email. Definitely enter your email, and then you have access to 3 to 5 like quick videos. I found that that's been really effective.
Are you dripping the videos so they only get one a day, or are you giving them all up front?
Oh no, definitely drip them. Definitely drip them. And there's you can email them and put it in like a drip email, or there's a funnel where you can unlock certain videos each day. So it really depends on the client. If it's like, if it's their target audience is a little more tech savvy, or if they're just as simple as possible. So
let's see, what was the other question? I just had another question of mine. Scott, do you have one?
About? No, I mean it's,
to ask.
Well, no, but I think it's cool. You and I talk about this so much, and we've done so many of these now, that it's interesting to get another perspective on, how to do all this. So I'm just finishing a new book, and so
he has several.
Oh, awesome.
So, but we're actually going to market this one. But it's interesting you say, people have a book, but they don't read it. The people who don't read books don't buy books. Novel concept, right? And there is a target market that doesn't read books. There's not a doubt. There's a portion of
we collect them.
There's a portion of the market that doesn't read books. So what I'm working to do with my publisher is to specifically do some things with this launch and to target it to the people who actually do read the books, and then take the content and make it available to people who actually want to consume the content in a different medium. So it's what's really interesting about these conversations in the last few weeks specifically is understanding that there is a certain group that still reads books.
Oh yeah, no,
and
I mean like
no,
ebooks.
but
nobody's reading the ebooks.
Yeah.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying is that's where you used to offer up a book or an ebook to everybody, and everybody doesn't work anymore. I mean, everything has to be a little bit more. So there actually has to be, even some of your funnels, maybe dual pathing a little bit. Here's for those who actually like to read. Here's those who want to listen. So it's a dual path funnel, or it's two separate funnels, or it's a tested, right?
Mm-hmm.
You test one with reading and one with audio or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all I was saying. I think it's interesting how the one advantage of living through these, being in business for a long time, is you've seen the changes, or you've observed the changes
Mm-hmm.
in how this process has happened, provided you've kept up with it. You know that you're really observing and exploring and saying, okay, well, we used to do it this way, now we do it this way. It's really funny, at this event this weekend, a guy is offering from stage, he's offering CDs as bonuses.
Mm.
I mean, and what was so funny is one of the other speakers turned to me and said, "Oh my God, that is so like the early in the 2000s. What's he doing? Still offering CDs as a bonus, right?"
That actually reminds me of Russell Brunson did that. He ran an ad for his perfect webinar, and he was like, if you want the template, it was one of those like free with shipping. And I was like, what are you going to ship? And he was like, I'm going to ship you a CD with the information on it. I was like, oh, what? It's like, I don't even have a CD. Anything
but like a CD-ROM. Yeah, laptops and computers don't even have or laptops don't have CD-ROMs anymore. But, as far as the book goes, so Russell has, his free plus shipping book offer. But then if you want the audio book, you can do an upsell to get the audio book right then and there. And he probably sells so many of that because people I think a certain age group rather listen than actually read a physical book. And there was one more thing I wanted to mention. What did you say that? Like challenges are really popular right now with coaches doing 5-day challenges, 7-day challenges, 14-day, 21-day. Those are really, really popular right now.
I will say that with those challenges, what's the best way to wrap that up and make the sale after you've kind of drug it out?
So having some type of like really awesome sales video at the end. I mean, I think it's a fad, and I don't think that they're high converting because you put so much effort into, especially if it's like a 21-day challenge, you put so much effort into creating this challenge, but people are trying to undercut each other. Like, okay, I'm going to offer more, or they think they're offering more value because they're doing a longer challenge than the next person. It's really, really important that you know your target audience and you know the value that they want, or the value, like what they're going to feel is valuable to them, because some people don't care about a 21, like some people won't even get through a 21-day challenge. So making it digestible. Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, it is. Like 21 days is a long time. Like even on the agency side, Billie Jean Shaw, I'm just kind of assuming everybody in marketing knows who that is. But he came up with a great idea, but I was like, now you're putting 7 days, like from the point that I'm talking to them, actually sometimes even a couple more. And I was like, how do I wrap that one up and put a pretty bow on it and close it out? And I was like, okay, well, maybe we put them in a funnel. Maybe we put them into like a webinar, like a separate one. So we take them out of one funnel and put them in another funnel. But yeah, definitely those challenges, or even I'm participating in now. And so is Scott here, one of those like online summits. I feel like if you don't get them on the first one, like if you don't take them from sign up to immediately getting them to pay for the content, then wrapping it up on the other side, there's a point where you lose them.
You do. And I mean, so Oprah and Deepak Chopra has a gratitude and meditation challenge right now. And I think that's like 28 days, but they have a massive following and like their brands behind them. Yeah. But I mean, and I signed up for that, and I honestly haven't even done it every day. So I think chunking it down to where it's easily digestible, and if you drag it out too much, you do lose them. So finding that sweet spot of like not it being like a sale right away, but also not dragging it out too long.
No, that makes sense. And let's see what other good questions. So I noticed, like looking you up, you actually have, I think I found you across 3 different properties. You have the Abundance Hack.
Yes.
I know. You had the Level Mastermind. And I even found you on a Catalyst that looks like that's maybe more for your city.
What is that?
Catalyst?
Oh, Catalyst. Oh, so Catalyst is like a local like business thing where they did an interview on me. So so it was an interview on Catalyst.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. Yes.
And then which one do you think is like your baby? What's your focus?
Okay, so have you heard of The Big Leap, the book The Big Leap, where he talks about like your area of excellence and your area of genius? It's a phenomenal book. Like, highly recommended to anyone. So it's The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And it talks about like our glass ceiling, how successful we'll allow ourselves to be, and you know, how we self-sabotage when we hit a certain level. But he also talks about finding your purpose, like your area of genius. And I think that sales funnels is kind of like my area of excellence. I love strategy. I love helping people map out what they want to do. Like, I love it. I love talking about systems and strategy. But my area of genius is motivation and mindset and self-development. So Abundance Hack is a podcast. It's on iTunes. And I just talk about taking action, ditching the excuses, and taking action. Sales funnel all day. But if you don't think your business is going to succeed in your mind, it's not going to succeed. No matter how amazing your funnel is, you'll find a way to self-sabotage it. So helping people understand that everything's possible if we believe it up here.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
And is that the Abundance
Hack?
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy was asking, it's really long, so I'm going to cover up our faces here. Sorry, Scott. I need to understand your use of the term funnel. In consulting and prior in defense industry, the funnel was a graphic representation of where opportunities are in the sales proposal process. Is your terminology essentially the same, but you have separate funnels for different products or offerings?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yes, that for you.
Okay, so when I say funnel, so basically I refer to a funnel, and I'll break it down. Like, everyone has a website for their business. So how I explain it is a traditional website. People go to it, they poke around, they leave, you never know they're there. With a sales funnel, there's a specific call to action where it says, click here, enter your email here, download this, go here. So it tells them exactly what to do. So it takes the guesswork out of it. And you know, okay, they want me to do this when I go to their funnel. And then you have that map of the journey you want them to go through. So every single step is planned out. So it's basically the same thing, but online.
I think that's probably where the terminology funnel came from in the first place. Mm-hmm. They took the graphical representation that everybody was already using and then just called it a funnel.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in the sales process, that's pipeline selling. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it was a physical, you throw as much into the top as you possibly can, it slides down and it comes out the pipeline. So, I mean, the term and the concept has been around for a long time, but more referred to as pipeline selling as opposed to the word funnel. Then all of a sudden people started using it as, you know, same thing. You had to have a free, you had to have a this, you had to have the next, you know, and move the other direction. And but I mean, now it's pretty fascinating because you can create a funnel on almost anything. Mm-hmm. That's the exciting part.
Have you ever found something you could not create a funnel for?
You know, honestly, when I worked for ClickFunnels, I saw funnels for everything. My funniest story is there was a lady selling cat spoons.
Wait, what did you say?
Cat spoons, like meow.
Yeah, like meow.
Spoons that you eat with, but there was little cats at the end.
Well, I'm glad you went there because I was like, are you talking about feeding your cat with a spoon?
No.
No, that's a spoiled cat.
I've got a particular client. She's got like 11 cats. So it's like, I think I might have a client for you.
But it just was so funny to me. I'm like, if someone can sell cat spoons, you can sell anything with a funnel.
Wow. Yeah, no, definitely. Wow, a cat spoon. Okay, so we have The cat spoon. So to Randy, so the question came from Randy Sablik of Sablik and Associates. He's one of our members. What does he call us? He's a longtime fan. And he's in the defense industry as a consultant. And I really hate the word consultant in general because I feel like it says nothing about what you do. But it's similar to the client that I mentioned. Like there's only a handful of people that you can do business with in the world. Mm-hmm. When you have such a small potential client base, do funnels still work?
Of course.
My answer is still yes, but
yeah, of course.
I'm biased.
Because you still want to take them through a process. You still want to take them through a journey. I'm sure, like, you know, you speak to them. Like, I'm not sure exactly what he does, but if you speak to them and then you follow up with them and then like whatever that process is, you're just putting it in an online version, basically. So,
Randy, nothing slides down the funnel. Opportunities don't move to win by gravity. I like what your guest said. Different calls to action to make the opportunity get to the close.
Yeah.
And to speak to that, I think that's the strategy, right? Beside every single page in the funnel, I feel like I come more from the digital marketer background, like the company digital marketer, not title. But Marcus Murphy is big on what action did you take? Because I know you're interested in that. I know you're interested in this next step.
It broke up, so I didn't hear what you just said.
The whole idea of like each page needs to have a job that's central to what your client needs to see. Mm-hmm. So in Digital Marketer with Marcus Murphy, his is what did you just do on the last page? Acknowledge that action because I know you're interested in that. I know that you'll be interested in this next step.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's going to be unique to every single company.
Yes.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's how you, like on these really tight markets, it's just taking them down the path that they were going to take anyway. Mm-hmm. And then the problem is people think that it's just the funnel. The problem is most people are going to fall out of the funnel. That's where the Facebook ad retargeting, the Google ad retargeting, the emails that are going to come back and come back. And they miss that. They're like, but I had a funnel. I'm like, all right, did you have an email automation to make sure they reach the next page?
Yes.
And then did you have one for that page to get them to the next page, to the next, to the next, to the next?
Mm-hmm.
Are you cultivating when they drop out of that? Are you putting them back in a re-engagement series? Mm-hmm. Are you sending them value? Are you only selling them? Are you hitting them up? Like, if you don't create any other Facebook ad, like don't create a cold ad. Don't even create like a warm ad. Just retarget it from page to page. Ending page, but you didn't take the offer. Come back and get it. You hit my thank you page, but you didn't take me up on the next offer. Come back and get it. Mm-hmm. Those are easy. Mm-hmm. And the marketing budget is tiny. Mm-hmm. You don't need thousands. You need $5-10 a day.
Yeah. And really paying attention to where people are dropping off, like looking at those different stats and saying, okay, they're dropping off at this step. So what can I tweak on this step? And this is where the A/B test comes in handy. But the emails are so important because life is happening. People have a million distractions. So staying in their face. And one thing that I love that Grant Cardone says, he says, hit the list. Like, don't be afraid because people are like, oh, well, I don't want to bug people. Hit the list. Why did they sign up for your list? They're interested in what you want, what you're offering, you know? So he says, hit the list.
That's amazing. And it's amazing. You know, even I forget that all the time. And then I'll go do something like Facebook went down. So I sent a message down and it's like, then sales come back and you're like, wow, I should do that. Why wasn't I doing that more often? All right. So you have abundance. What is the Level Up Mastermind?
So Level Up Mastermind is basically where my coaching is. So like my 90-day masterminds, and then I have master classes. And then even if I do like one-on-one coaching, that's all under Level Up Mastermind. So like those are my two brands. So Level Up Mastermind is like my coaching, my sales funnels, my master classes, so I do 90-day masterminds. They all have different themes. Sometimes people want to create online courses. The one that I'm launching actually tomorrow is for people who want to create a podcast. And I've learned so much about podcasting lately. So I just want to share that knowledge with people. And yeah, so that is pretty much everything. If you are interested in business, Level Up Mastermind. If you're interested in motivation and just like that feel good, take action, Abundance Hack. So
that feel good action.
yes.
Feel good action. Scott, did you have questions?
No, I think
Comments?
Well, no, I'm enjoying the conversation too, and it's always great to hear a different perspective and different things. I think it's interesting. It's funny because the image that came to me when you were talking about the funnels and Randy's comment about nothing just drops down the funnel. No, a funnel, it does drop by gravity because it's designed to do that. It's bigger at the top and smaller at the bottom. If doesn't drop by gravity, it's called a waste basket.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trash can. It's just this cylindrical. It drops to the bottom and it's done.
The sound effects.
take the representation of it all and think of it differently. But no, it's fascinating to think through all the different sides of these things, and get a little, on one way, a little different perspective, and on another way, a very similar perspective to what we talk about so many mornings here on Double Funnel TV, right? Just talking about how to take and put these things into action. And love the idea of the mastermind. Obviously, we do that. Sean and I do that with you and with others. You've got to pull people together with diverse backgrounds and diverse educations to look at the exact same problem. You're going to get much greater take on that. So that's cool. I just, it's fun. It's fun having a guest too. So.
Yeah.
Now, so you came out of ClickFunnels. What is your favorite tech stack to build funnels with?
What do you mean?
Tech stack. So, I'll usually always use ActiveCampaign, even if the funnel service includes, or ClickFunnels or Kartra or any of those. What are your favorite tech stacks?
Yeah, so ClickFunnels has Actionetics, which is obviously my go-to. But what I've worked with the most recently, other than Actionetics, is ConvertKit.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's still some people that use MailChimp, which, easy, simple, straightforward. So it's kind of like good for beginners.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times when I'm building funnels for people, they are beginners. It's their first sales funnel and they're just figuring things out. But ConvertKit is probably the most popular I've been hearing lately. But I think Actionetics, if you're going to get ClickFunnels, then just use Actionetics.
And then let's see. So you're building them in ClickFunnels. You are also using the ClickFunnels Actionetics. Are you staying, if you were to build a funnel, it's all you? Are you pretty much just staying in that framework and not going outside of that?
For the most part, I do ClickFunnels and Shopify stores.
Okay.
But for the most part, I can do something else, but it's kind of just I like to stay in that area, stay in my lane, because there's plenty of people that are specialists in other platforms. I know ClickFunnels the best.
Okay.
So I am going to give someone the best results with ClickFunnels.
Absolutely.
Now, as far as strategy goes, if they just want to come to me to help them iron out who their target audience is, what they should be doing, what they should be focused on, what their offer is, because some people have problems around pricing and structure of building an online course kind of thing, I can definitely help with that, and they can use any platform they want.
That's cool.
Is there a fairly standard process you follow, step one, a multi-step process that you're walking them through?
Yes.
From a strategy side.
Yes. So I have a form that I have people fill out to kind of give me all the information that I need. And for the most part, it's reverse engineering, starting with the end goal in mind. What is your ultimate goal? And then working backwards from there. So, yeah.
Jena, my thought was, is it similar to the customer value journey, or is it, that's your term, or at least to my knowledge, your term on it, and what you do with warfare as you go through. That's where I was thinking.
Oh, okay. So what Scott is talking about is we're partners at Digital Marketer. And so they have an 8-step framework that's And it's pure strategy. There's no funnel inside of it, with the concept that everything must have those 8 steps. What tech you build in that, or whether it's a phone call or an email or whatever,
Right.
it's those 8 steps. And the customer value journey is awareness. So eyeballs on target, right? If nobody sees your funnel, it's pointless.
Yes.
Engaging. Now that can be the video on your landing page. That's why I tend to think videos do better, because if you're taking them from awareness to a landing page where you want them to subscribe, that video acts as that middle engagement ground, getting them to actually subscribe, getting them to convert in dollars or time, getting them excited. That's where I feel like a lot of people drop off, as they don't excite the individual. And then getting them to ascend. So actually buying your core offer, maybe buying an upsell or some additional packages, getting them to actually advocate and leave a review, and like packaging that in, and then getting them to promote you, whether that be an affiliate, whether that be like a referral model, something to lower that ad cost and effort on the front end with the awareness stage. So I feel like funnels, I'm not positive the Russell Brunson method. I feel like going through their new one funnel a day challenge, or one funnel away challenge. Hook something. No, I'm missing hook story offer. I don't know, something, but there's like 3 over and over and over again. I'm like, I feel like we're missing a few steps.
Yeah. So I don't have anything laid out perfectly like that, but I mean, that's exactly this should be going. Have it like, this is my 8-step framework. But I should, though. It gives me like, I have some work to do. But no, I honestly, I think that's perfect. I think that's perfect. It's a great way to break it down, and people will come in on different levels of that. Like they may be at step 3 where someone else may be at step 1, but having that framework, I think, is pretty genius, and I need to get on that.
I think that one came out of Desmond Morris, and the guys at Digital Marketer took the human-to-human framework of how does a strange human meet another strange human, get busy, and make babies. And that was 12 steps. And they broke it down to 8.
12 steps of intimacy.
I like my way better. That one sounds like clinical. But I make people laugh when I say it that way, right? That's the whole point. And breaking it down to those 8 steps, and the definition of skipping 2 steps in those 12 is assault. Now, whether it's low-level assault or high-level assault, you skip 2 steps, you're going to jail or getting a ticket or something. So the concept, if a lot of people will have coaches come into our membership and they'll say, hey, when you go to a networking group, don't ask for the sell, ask for the referral. I'm like, the referral is step 8. The sell was only step, 6. Yeah, 6. So you're walking up. It's the equivalent in Desmond Morris of walking up to a stranger and sticking your hand on their face. That is weird.
Yeah.
So I try to tell people, are you going to walk up to a stranger and stick your hand on their face? No, that's so weird. And as a girl, I'm going to get creeped out and I'm going to slap your hand. And because I do have that military training, I might whip it around and break your wrist because you're touching me.
Yeah.
Well, final thoughts. We've got 2 minutes left here on Double Funnel TV. I've put up if you could have them go anywhere, which landing page would you have them go to?
So I would probably just send them to my main website, which is Niajae.com, because you can get to everything from there. So you can get to Level Up, you can get to Abundance Hack, you can get to all my social media from that main hub. So Niajae.com, Niajae.com. And I guess for a final thought, just telling people to keep at it, there has to be, it used to be, I think 7 touches before someone is interested in buying, but I think there's so much noise right now. Mm-hmm. It's more 12 or 13 or 15 or something. But I know just me personally, when there was a funnel that I entered in. So when I signed up, I was like, this is interesting. Did I watch the whole video? No, but it was enough to tweak my interest. And then I kept getting emails, never opened it, never opened the emails, but I didn't want to unsubscribe because I'm like, maybe one day I'll actually read one. And then one day I was frustrated about something and the subject line spoke directly to me. Like whatever it was exactly what I was having an issue with that day. So I opened the email, there's a video, I watched the video, and I felt like they were speaking directly to me. And this was probably like 2 months after I signed up for the email list. But that day, the subject line caught my attention. I opened the email, I watched the video, like 2 minutes in, I'm like, I don't know what they're selling, but I'm buying it. I'm buying it because it's speaking directly to me. So that's kind of how you have to keep it in mind. Like, make sure your subject lines are really, make sure you have an email sequence that you're sending people, and make sure your subject lines are really speaking to people, because there is so much noise. So the more you know your target audience, the more they're going to engage with you, and the more you're going to convert them to paying clients.
Oh, absolutely agree. Thank you so much for being here and being our guest. We've got her website up on the screen here where you can find her. And so we actually had 2 others, but this is the one she said you can find her everywhere. And just a huge thanks for joining us with your lovely purple hair.
Thank you for having me.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
It's been a blast. It's always fun to get another perspective and viewpoint, and obviously you're very talented at what you do, and so it's fun to play with good people.
Yay.
So thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
What you guys are doing is awesome. Like the whole everything you have going on is phenomenal.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everyone and your input and asking such great questions, Randy especially. And we will see you guys tomorrow on Double Funnel TV.
That's right. See you in the morning.
All right. Bye, guys.